Welcome back, guys. You know this channel is about finding joy in the journey in teaching. And I love teaching. I love, bringing the best lessons I can. This classroom of ours, it's truly a stage. It's a place that we perform every day. We have a captive audience every day, and I try to think about ways to sort of bring the best versions of me to the class and bring the best activities to the class. And this one, I'm super excited to share with you. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, I talk a lot about gamification in education, but I don't always talk about using actual games in the classroom, but they can unlock so many barriers to learning. Students approach a game differently than they approach your class. So setting something up like this at first can be a little intimidating to maybe both you, the teacher, as well as the student, but truth be told, this is more approachable. This is intriguing for them to come in. So what we're looking at here, I'm so jazzed about this. I do this every year. This is a game for me. It's called Antique. It's about sort of all these ancient civilizations interacting. And for me, it's sort of the capstone experience for me ending studying the ancients. But we don't really need to get into the game, but the idea here is I have my entire class playing this one board game. So I have 4 different tables set up, and each of them is one class period. And they stand around here, and there are 6 different teams, and 3-4 people a team, and they make decisions on what their team should do. And it's so cool to see this come to life and see what we've studied in isolation interacting with each other. But what I really love is the thinking that goes on. Thinking in games is just different than thinking in class. Thinking in class, you're searching for an answer. Thinking in a game, you're thinking for a solution. You're thinking through strategy. And it's just different, and it makes us sort of apply so many things we learn. And it doesn't have to be a game like this. It doesn't have to be sort of a big risk-like game. It could be small. There's a great game called Space Team. Pick that up. Great collaboration, great activity. Check out Heck Awesome. She would love to talk to you about Space Team. It's a great game. You could talk to Stephanie Crawford about snake oil, one of her favorites. This gets students talking and interacting. So I just wanted to get you guys excited about possibly using games, full production games in the classroom. Stream it right into the classroom. There are so many great games out there. You know that I love games. Games is just part of what I like to do in my free time, but this was new for me. This was something that just sort of happened. Now I guess it's like 10 years old, but I didn't grow up loving games. So I invite you, I encourage you, I implore you, I beg you, please bring games to your classroom. It will change what happens in here. It'll change how you see the students. It will change how students see your class. So games in education are huge. Games in your classroom can be huge. There are so many great resources. Check out boardgamegeek.com in the link below. Great website to order some games if you want to get like class sets or something is one called Cool Stuff Incorporated. Great company to work with. They're really helpful. Another one too is actually Amazon. Amazon does a really good job putting some of these new designer board games out there. Ask around. There are so many great games that could apply to your curriculum, to your content, and could just be a pop of fun and excitement in your class. There's new games that are cooperative. From when we were kids, it was always like everybody against everybody. Now there's this whole new one that started up 5-6 years ago that are cooperative board games where it's the kids or you against the board game. The board game keeps just throwing challenges and challenges and challenges at you, and you gotta defeat the board game. That's kind of neat. Probably the biggest named one of that is called Pandemic. Check it out. I'll put links down below to some of these games and some of these sites if you want to add this to your classroom. But you caught me on one of my favorite teaching days. We're gonna play this simulation today in class, and notice the word I used there. We're gonna play this simulation. So, and I tell the kids, this is a straight up board game that I'm using. However, when we're at these tables playing these board games, it's a simulation. I'm gonna use it as a simulation. And don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to pull back from the game. I make the kids actually come out here, sit here in the center, and we'll discuss some of the things that happen in the game. We'll say, hey, when you built that sort of temple, that sort of architectural structure there, which costs a lot of money, which triples the value of everything that gets produced there, what did that represent history-wise? Put on your history cap, think like a historian. What did that do? And then they figure it out. That's like infrastructure. The city got bigger. The city got more wealth. It got larger. So this is why it triples its production, its value. It triples its defense because there's more people there. You can have more armies there because it triples the size of the population and you can get more armies out of it. So I connect content to the game. Don't be afraid to do that. Pull them out of the game and say, hey, we're gonna talk about the game. We're gonna connect the content to the game. Talk about like the probability if you're a math teacher. Do whatever you need to do. Or pandemic for a science teacher. Great game. And stop for a moment and just look at the spread of that disease in the game Pandemic. It would be a great learning opportunity woven in with the actual like skills of playing a board game. So I just had to drop this quick video in. I wasn't even gonna do it, but I was just looking around my classroom and I said, you guys have to come along on this class tour. You've gotta check it out. I hope you think about adding games to your classroom. I'm sure I'll do another video on games in the class because it's just what I love to do, as well as gamification, as well as other ones. Check out all the other videos here. This community is growing every day. I love having you here. Hearing from you guys, commenting below, starting a dialogue. It really is all about community. And thank you. Thank you so much for being here. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoy. Check out some of the other videos. Check out the links below. Always appreciate it. Take care.